What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Chosen 100, aka Mr. 100, and I'm here to give you my review on Avengers Endgame, the final movie to the series Infinity Wars. Now, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie yet, please stop watching because I'm going to talk about some things that need to be talked about with this movie. So if you haven't seen it, please stop watching because I already gave you the alert. So if you watch more than this, it's on your own. So I'm sorry. Hey, I tried to tell you. But I'll be back. All right, so the beginning starts off right after the snap. Things is going crazy. People disappearing. Nobody knows what's going on except for the Avengers and the heroes. They the only ones that know what's going on. Nobody else, as far as human-wise, know what's going on. So it starts off with Hawkeye. He's not with the Avengers. He's retired. And his family disappears. Boom. He has no idea what's going on. So the whole beginning of the movie is kind of taking place with the fact of you get to see how it is after the snap. And that's good. That's a good thing because that gives it more of a human feel and stuff like that. So I was all in with that. Like, yeah, just don't start right off with action and crazy stuff. Show it from a human standpoint of something that major happening and how it affects the universe. You know, they could have, to me, they could have probably tapped on a couple other planets just to show the difference in their worlds too, even though I know the main central story is based on Earth. Still, just the fact that they're using the whole universe and you got aliens involved and stuff like that, they could have just showed a little bit more of that type of aspect of how it really affected the whole universe, if need be. But they didn't, so they kept it more or less earthbound because I guess they had to keep a pacing of the story and stuff like that, which is cool. I get that. So then it goes on from there to the point of them catching up with Thanos. Thanos retired himself. He did what he had to do. He retired. And like I said before, spoiler alert, he doesn't really seem wanting to fight the Avengers when they come up. Like, he more or less was already done with his life. Like, okay, I did what I had to do. So now y'all can do what y'all got to do. I don't care if y'all kill me, any of that. It's done. It's done. There's no reversing that as far as he know. So Thor takes it upon himself and cuts the brother head off. Just sling off. Now, if you feel like you're getting spoiled right now, I told your ass before the beginning, spoiler alert. So if you didn't know Thanos got his head cut off, oops, it's got cut off. So you late now. So go watch the movie. You wouldn't have had that problem. But yeah, he cuts his head off, which was kind of funny being that Thor has killed people before, but in that moment, him killing Thanos, it seemed like that was kind of their all's first action of seeing Thor kill somebody. Like, they really was all just kind of shocked. Maybe because of the fact that they thought Thanos might have put up a bigger fight or something like that. I don't know. But they was just all in all that. He just went out that easy. Like, well, damn, this guy just took out the majority of the universe and it was that easy to kill him. Why we couldn't do that the first time? But hey, it is what it is. Now, from what I know from the comic books, I guess they didn't want to add this to the movies, but Thanos has a certain relationship with death, where it's like he can't die. It's like death and him are kind of like boyfriend girlfriend type of thing. Any of my comic book heads know what I'm talking about. So it's like that was kind of crazy how they just sliced his head off and he was just dead. But okay, they just did that. As far as I know in the comic books, it was like he couldn't die. He was kind of like that because of the fact that he had a relationship with death. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I got to do some more research and check back. If so, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. Be like, nah, that's not how it is. He couldn't die easily like that. But as far as I know, he couldn't die in the comic books that I remember. But okay, past that. So we move on from there. And it jumped 5 years ahead. It goes 5 years ahead after that, which is good because it shows that like it wasn't an easy fix. They didn't just figure out, okay, now we know what we got to do to get everybody back. It was 5 years. And if you a human, as you are because you're watching, you know 5 years is a pretty long time. So that's a long time to have to deal with people that you care about being gone. So they kind of showed that aspect of it, which was real good. Also, it was really deep. It wasn't just like a cheek and tongue comedy movie or nothing like that with superheroes movie. More or less try to appeal to your human aspect, which kind of takes you back to Civil War and Iron Man, which was it 3, I think, where he didn't have his Iron Man suit for most of the movie and stuff like that. Like, it brought you down to the human level, which was cool. I like that. Especially being on such a big scale of how many heroes they had to cover over, they made it seem like you got a taste of every hero that was left, anguish and what happened. And that was good. It made everybody seem more real. So I really was all in with that. I really enjoyed that part of it. And then Ant-Man pops up. He literally popped back up. Like, nobody was checking for him. Nobody knew where he was at. Nobody even thought about Ant-Man at all. And he just pops up with basically the way to save everybody. Like, he came back, figured out what was going on, and was like, hey, I can handle this. Like, holy snap, I got a kind of an idea that can get everybody back. So I just don't know how to do it, but I know it. So let's go find some people and get this going, because I can't believe this had happened over 5 years. That's crazy. So he goes and gets people and get everybody together and tells them the plan of going back in time. And of course, for me, I felt like what Tony Stark was saying at this time made complete sense. Complete sense. This man been beating himself over the head for the last who knows how many years to try to find a way to save the planet and all this stuff like that. And now he finally can get some peace. He got a daughter, he got a wife, even though half the universe is gone. Still, he was like, what's the chances of me having what I have now if I go back and change the past? Like, you know, that means I'm giving up my wife and my daughter, and there's a chance that it doesn't work. So now I lose them too, not less the people that we already lost. So he wasn't really happy about doing that. And I understand that. Like, yeah, I'm not willing to risk my family and stuff. So that was good that they played it that way. Like, everybody wasn't just all in with the plan when Ant-Man popped up with it. It was just like, hold on, I don't know about that one. So that was cool. I like that too. Then they go and get Hulk, which is now Professor Hulk, which, sorry to say, I don't know about y'all. I know it's supposed to be evolution and arcs and characters and stuff like that, but me, when I used to read comic books, I was never a fan of Professor Hulk. It just felt like a waste of power, waste of that much strength and stuff like that, to have him just being smart and not wanting to fight like that. Like, that's kind of, like, why be the Hulk then? You might as well just stay Bruce Banner and just be damn Bruce Banner. Why the fuck are you walking around as the Hulk with all this power and use your brain? And then if they need you at the very last minute, now you want to step up and be powerful? Like, nah, man, come on now. You the Hulk, man. This is what the Hulk do. Hulk go smash, he beat shit up. That's what he do. But he was Professor Hulk. And they kind of showed it where he was more like a celebrity now, which was kind of cool because of the fact that the Hulk was always outcast for so long and so shunned by, you know, especially the U.S., but as far as the Earth in general. So to see people actually embracing him and liking him and not seeing him as just the Hulk smash, messing up cities and stuff like that, all right, kind of cool, kind of cool. All right, I get that. But that was the character arc they wanted to give him, so all right, I understand that. So then we go from that to them trying to figure out how to make this time machine that Ant-Man proposes that they use to get to the quantum realm. So now, Tony Stark, just on a humbug, it seemed like he was just dilling around and just figured it out like that. Like, oh, okay, bam, I just figured out time travel. Who knew? Who knew I could have did that shit? I could have did this shit from back in the day and didn't even think about this stuff. But okay, cool. Let's go try to see if this don't work. So he goes on and gets up with the rest of them. They call in everybody. All the Avengers come through now. Everybody's back getting it cracking. The Avengers assembling. And they going to set up this plan where they're going to jump back in time and go get the gems before Thanos collects all the gems. Which sounds good in theory, but then comes the whole time, switching with time, messing with time thing. Now, in the movie, they touch on Back to the Future and all these movies where people go back in time, and they kind of make fun of the fact that what they say in those movies about going back in time and stepping on the bug would change the whole future and stuff like that. And they come with their own twist on how time travel works and stuff like that, which, if you look at it, it can make sense either way for real. Like, if you think about, yeah, if I go back in time and I kill Adolf Hitler, then it's going to be a whole bunch of different stuff going on in this future. Whereas they make it seem like, well, if you go back in time and kill Hitler, it's just going to create another timeline. But the timeline that's happening now is still going to happen. The future doesn't change, so it's still going to happen. So that was kind of a different aspect to look of it, but it kind of, like, later on in the movie, it makes you question some things, because as I read in other people's comments, it's like, well, this happened, then why this didn't happen? Is you saying that it doesn't change the future, but the future was changed with it. So, you know, but that's the funny thing about when you write in time travel into any movie, is the fact that nobody knows what actually happened if you can go back in the past and change something. So people just always throwing out theories, and pretty much you can't say nobody's theory is wrong. So okay, this the theory they went with. So they all go back in time, do their thing, get the jewels before stuff happened. Most of them get the jewels before stuff happened, but then we get another thing that kind of threw me off was the fact that Nebula gets caught by Nebula. Yeah, crazy, right? She gets caught by her past self by her future self gets caught by her past self. So me looking at it like, okay, so they is in a different timeline, or is this the same timeline because of the fact of if you don't change nothing, if you change something in the past, it doesn't change your future. So her future self should have known that her going back in the past, she was going to get caught by herself. I don't know. Comment below. Maybe you can explain it a little better to me, because it didn't make sense to me that she got caught by her past self, but her future self didn't have no idea of that happening at all. But yet, the funny thing is, her past self was linked to her future self. So when she came back to the past, she automatically got her memories and stuff like that. Where they do that at? I don't know. How the hell can you be in the past and your future self comes back and now you got their memories? Now, mind you, I know she's part cyborg and stuff like that, and she's hooked to a mainframe. At least that's what they tried to explain in the movie. But still, her past self, you would think, system is different than her future self because she's farther ahead in the future. So she had to upgrade. So how could that still be linked to the same thing? I don't know. Like I said, they didn't explain that at all. But she just got the memories of her future self with her past self, and she just knew everything that was going to happen, which was kind of weird to me. I didn't get that at all. That's one of the things that threw me. Now, in the comic books, I don't think that ever happened in this series, but hey, they wrote it up that way, so I don't know. So then, since she, in the past, knew what the future person was going to do, she knew exactly where she was at. She knew exactly what the Avengers was up to as far as getting the gems and stuff like that. So she told old Papa Bear Thanos that, hey, we got to go get these people. They trying to stop your plan before you start it. So Thanos, being the smart man that he is, like, well, shit, I'm going to go ahead and let them do that, collect it all, and then I just go rob them when they get it. You know what I'm saying? Like a G would. Like, shit, well, I'm going to go do all the work, getting these stones. Let them go get that, then I just go take them for all of it. That's some straight up hood stuff right there. Like, that's what the boys do on the street for them drug dealers. Like, let them go sell all the drugs, then I rob them and take all the money. So, hey, that's what Thanos was on. Like, I'm just hit them up once they get them. Let them do them. You know what I'm saying? Cool. So, everybody goes to their perspective. They split the groups up of the Avengers, and they all go get the gems and stuff like that. Now, the one part that was, you could say, touching, sad, was that Hawkeye and Black Widow was more or less both trying to sacrifice themselves to get the soul gem. Now, if you've seen the first movie, Infinity Wars, Thanos had to sacrifice Gamora, his daughter. So with them two, being that they was best friends and being that Hawkeye found Black Widow was more or less her mentor and helped her out, of course, and plus the stuff that he was going through with his family being gone, he was willing to be like, yo, I'll take this one for the team, let me go. Black Widow, being the fact that she done a lot of dirt in her life, she felt like, no, you got the family and stuff like that, let me go. So they kind of have a little tussle to go and see who's going to be the one to kill themselves, which was funny because they almost both killed each other doing the damn thing. So luckily they didn't, because they wouldn't have got the gem, if they would have killed one another trying to get the gem. So that was a little funny to watch, to see them fight for who going to kill themselves. You rarely see that in the movie. No, I'm sacrificing. No, I'm going to sacrifice myself. No, you stay alive, I'm going to kill me. No, you going to stay alive, I'm going to kill me. Weird. But it was cool, though, to see that they had that much love for each other, that they actually fought it out a little bit for the other one not to die. So then, spoiler alert, I'm going to say it anytime there's something that major that you did not stop for earlier when I told you, Black Widow takes the leap. She does. She kills herself, and Hawkeye has to deal with that and eat that, and he comes back and he tells everybody, and everybody's going through it, especially Hawk, because that was kind of like his boo thing. So they go through it and stuff like that, and it goes south from there. As far as their feelings and emotions go, because now they really like, okay, we got to get this. So now they got all the jewels together, all the bling is there. Now they making a little gauntlet for it so they can snap everybody back and bring them back. And mind you, I just said Nebula captured Nebula. So the old Nebula takes the new Nebula's place, comes back, sends out the alert to Thanos like, yo, they got them all. Come get them, brother. You know how the girl set brothers up to come get robbed? She straight up set them up. She was like, look, I see they got it all. Come to the stash spot, come get them. Thanos like, I got you, I'm on the way. He came through, tore it down, just straight bloom, bloom, bloom. Everybody lay down, get down, lay down. He straight did that. You know, only thing they was lucky about was the fact that he came in so reckless that he didn't know where the gauntlet was at. That was the dumb part on that one. I'm like, hold on now. Smart as Thanos is, why would he just come in guns blazing, tearing the whole building down and not get the gauntlet first? You know, he had Nebula already in the building. So he could have let her just skate away, get that junk, then tear it down, you know what I'm saying? Or get close to it, then hit him up. But he did that dumb stuff, so that kind of was dumb on his part, and I didn't understand that for being as smart as he is, but it happened. So now, they get the gauntlet, they know Thanos done came, they figured out like, oh snap, Thanos is here. We can't let him get the gauntlet because he's going to do the same thing again in this timeline. And now mind you, being the fact that they got the gems for the other timeline, now those timelines are all divergent too because they changed it. They took gems from those timelines, so they got to get the gems back. That was the whole plan. In case I didn't mention it earlier, I'm sorry if I didn't. But yeah, they had to get the gems back to those timelines to make everything back to one timeline. So they getting up out of there. They all beat up and stuff like that, trying to get out the building. Thanos sitting there chilling like a pimp, like, hey, y'all gonna bring them to me. I ain't got to worry about it. So I'm going to sit right here and let y'all figure out how y'all going to handle this ass what I'm about to give y'all. So they come up, they see Thanos, they know it's about to be on. They try to get the gems back to the right timeline, so they got to get to a certain spot where they at to get there. And it goes down. You know, everybody done came back because the fact of when they did get the gems, Hulk put on the gauntlet, brought everybody back. Another spoiler alert, he did bring everybody back. Forgot to mention that part before Thanos came and wrecked the shop. They did get a chance to bring everybody back, but the thing was, they didn't want everybody to know it yet. They did it, and you kind of was seeing it, but then Thanos hit. That's what made it so good, is the fact that as soon as they did the snap, and before you get a chance to see if everybody came back yet, Thanos hit them hard and came in ruthless. So now they about to fight Thanos. All of a sudden, you see the little gold circle things that Mr. Strange do, and all of a sudden people just start popping up out of everywhere. The cavalry's there. You know what I'm saying? The homeboys and called to click through. Now people ready to ride on Thanos and get it down. So Thanos like, okay, y'all got y'all boys here. Cool, cool, cool. I got my peoples here. Cool, cool, cool. But guess what? I'm still going to bust that ass. I'm still going to get these jewels. Y'all going to have to deal with it. Little do he know, they got a ride or die chick called Miss Marvel who comes through wrecking shop. I mean, she comes through and she comes through hard, brother. I mean, like, I don't know if you've seen the movie, but she comes through like a straight up G, just what's good. There's nothing popping out here that I can't handle. And it goes down. It's a full-fledged fight. Now, the thing I didn't like about this was during the fight, they try to get so many angles of everybody being back that it ended up being a little cluttered. Like Spider-Man get a quick little minute, you know, War Machine get a quick little second, Black Panther get a little second. They was trying to jump around because everybody was there, that it felt rushed in the fight scene. It wasn't like Infinity Wars where it was like a good amount of fighting in it, in the war part, that everybody got a good shine off of getting their powers off and doing what they do. This one, it was more rushed. It felt like everybody was just jumbled up doing stuff, and stuff was going on all over the place that you really couldn't focus on people being who they were supposed to be, you know. So they tried to combine it like they did with Infinity Wars, but to me, it just didn't come off right. It just came off a little fast-paced, sloppy. Now, Scarlet Witch and Thanos get into it. She gets at him pretty damn good, you know what I'm saying? Got him shook in his boots, which was kind of weird for me because, like I said, I'm a comic book junkie from back in the day. As far as I remember, Thanos was like crazy powerful. Like, Earth warriors won't really mess with him like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the Hulk, yeah, he can hit on him. But when Thanos got mad, he had cosmic powers. He can blast you with beams and stuff like that. He had no beams in this. He had no type of energy blasts, none of that, which was crazy because in the comic books he had that. He was powerful with that. He was stronger than any superhero on Earth, except for maybe the Hulk, far as strength-wise. So I'm trying to understand why in this is he getting hand-to-hand combat with Captain America and Iron Man and people like this. Like, come on, man. No, it shouldn't even be none of that. But I understand it's a movie, so they gotta play to the movie. But that right there just kind of threw me off. And then Scarlet Witch was ready to mess him up, and Thanos had to call for the backup, and guns start blazing and mess things up, and then it goes down from there, as far as the fight scenes go. But I'm going to just skip ahead through the fight scenes because I don't want to keep going into detail about it and rambling about it because you got to see it for yourself. But I'm just giving my opinion on how they downplayed Thanos' strength compared to the hero's strength, where they seemed like they were stronger than what they were, and Thanos was a little weaker than what he was in the comic books. That's what I'm going by because, like I said, I'm a comic book head. I'm going by the comic book. But I know it's the movie. So then we go from there to the ending. That was the big climax scene, the fight and all that stuff like that. Of course, heroes win. Thanos loses. Iron Man sacrifices his life. He does his own snap. He snaps Thanos and all his little minions to dust. Cool. But Iron Man doesn't have Hulk strength. He doesn't have his vulnerability. So for a human to do that, you know what happens. It eats him up. He dies. It's just like that. He goes pretty quickly. Which was kind of cool, being the fact that they didn't try to make it seem like he had this big old struggle with the death and he's fighting and he's telling everybody what he think about them and all that bullshit. It was just straight up like, okay, I did that. Okay, Piper, I see you, but I'm out of here. And he passed away very quickly. So that was cool that they did it that way instead of giving this long pulled out death scene. And then we go into the funeral was all right. They had everybody there. They made sure everybody was there that need to be represented, and showed them with their families and stuff, how everybody's back and all that good stuff, blah, blah, blah. But the part that everybody seems to be confused about, and I'm also confused about, is the very end where Captain America goes to take back the gems and he stays in the past and lives out his years with his old flame. And that right there is the conundrum in the whole time thing, because it's like, okay, he goes back and takes the gems back to all the different places they was at in different times, but how can he stay back in a certain time and the future not get affected? Because when you first look at one of the Avengers movies, I'm not sure which one, or was it Captain America movie, whichever one it was, he goes and sees his flame then, and she's about to pass from old age because, she was back in the 70s or 50s or something like that, whatever. And she tells him that she had got married and had a husband and kids, I think, and stuff like that. And he was just like, okay, I'm glad you had a good life, whatever like that. So for him to go back and stop her from meeting that changes somebody. That changed their husband's life. That changed them kids for not being born. Now, I don't know if she had kids with Captain America, because in the ending credits, they didn't show any kids. They showed them dancing. So I don't know if he had kids. They didn't say. If so, I think it was pictures on the mantle. So maybe it was a picture of a kid and I didn't pay attention that they did have kids or whatever like that. I'm not sure. So comment down below if it was something I missed in there that they maybe did have kids or whatever like that. But still, those kids aren't the kids he would have had with the husband. So it means those kids never existed. So it's a funny thing that it was some type of, he can go back in time and stay in time in his time frame, but how that didn't change the future. Because if he stayed back in his time frame, then that means it wouldn't have been no Captain America for the future, right? If he stayed back to have a wife and kids and stuff like that, he couldn't have been Captain America, right? Well, don't that make sense? When he took the super soldier serum back then, he was just starting to be Captain America. So you telling me he stayed Captain America, but he grew old? Because that means he would have had a different future then. That means he would have, I don't know how that works. That's what I'm saying. I'm not understanding that, because if he stayed back then, how could he have been fighting with the Avengers to help stop Thanos? It had to have been a different reality, right? It had to have been a different timeline. So I'm not sure about that one. That's why I was confused about it. It didn't make sense to me. And like I said, in other videos I've seen with people doing reviews, it kind of makes no sense to them either, but that's the time traveling thing. So I guess that's just how it goes when they write it. We just gonna write it, y'all's gonna eat it and call it a day. But overall, I give it a B, because the pace in the movie was pretty good. It had a couple dry spots in there. Like I said, the main thing that I didn't like was the fact that they kind of powered Thanos down some, and they powered some people up. And I also didn't like the fact that they made Thor such a goofball. Like, I understand that he he was toe up about the stuff that he couldn't change, but they just made him like a utter goofball. Like he really didn't do anything in this movie. Like he had no real fight scenes in it. He really never showed no power. None of that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what they leading up to for maybe another movie with him, and then he's gonna start back. But this movie was not for him at all. This was more Captain America, Iron Man movie, you know, so I'm not sure about that one. I didn't like that either. But I give it a solid B. It's a definitely go check out. It's a go see. All my comic book fans, like I said, there's going to be things in there that you might like to see, don't like to see. But I know me, when it comes to these movies, I try not to compare them too much to the comic book storylines. But I can't help it because that's what I grew up on. So that's just how I feel about it. So let me know how you feel about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and holla at your boy. Peace.
Cause out of every girl me have a you give me the right one. You're my number one, me not go do you wrong. We know each other on a level so we get along. Let's go in the streets, some party with the gang. Babes and nothing if you're drinking here with your man. You want security then you know if you get it.